So there's a new patch. It was released yesterday, and due to personal reasons, I couldn't make a reaction video about it. So I'm making this thing. So if you can tell me what you think about it, if I should do more videos like this, I'll do them. But this is a new thing. I'm not gonna focus on the patch notes. I'm mostly gonna be focusing on the changes to the urn and what they mean for Deadlock. So the urn got big reworks. It's basically a new objective. So now instead of dunking it and picking it up by just staying on one place, you have to heavy melee them or light melee them to pick it up. It's always dropped now in the middle of the map on top of the bridge with a special bridge area, and it works more like a not capture the flag, but King of the Hill style game mode, where when you capture the urn, you carry it to this middle spot, and after that, based on if it's neutral urn, favored or unfavored, there is a different time period, like 3 to 10 seconds, I think, based on the condition. You're no longer silenced. You can use your abilities while carrying the urn, and if I'm not mistaken, when you're behind at the comeback urn, if you successfully capture the urn or deposit it successfully, I mean, your team gets 50% bullet and spirit resistance in a 60 meter radius. So the current urn, the new urn, is a roller coaster of emotions on everywhere, like Discord, Reddit, YouTube videos. Everyone's very they have their reactions out there, and I'm not gonna say they're very reactionary, but Yoshi in the blog post, Valve has said that experimental and that they would like us to give as much feedback as possible. So my feedback for it is that I really like that currently with the new it's more engaging. The aspect of heavy or light meleeing it is, I think, much better. It's much more engaging. It gives more gameplay design spot for the melee mechanic. I did not like the previous urn, how you had to stay on one spot to get it, then you had to dunk it on top of it. I didn't really like that. The new urn is more interactive gameplay wise, I think. And the another thing is how incentivized it is. We all know that urn historically, the biggest problem has been that it's mostly an invisible objective. People tend to ignore it a lot, even in higher eloads. The urn is something that kind of happens. It's not really something you really care about in solo queue. You kind of have to, I don't know how to describe it, you kind of have to have someone that's brave enough to do it, so you follow them. And then there's also the fact that the enemy team automatically starts following you if they see you carrying the urn. So what happened with the urn is that the urn basically became a comeback mechanic only, but a comeback mechanic only in solo queue and in lower ranks. In slightly higher ranks, I would argue everything about Oracle, or even Oracle itself, the urn became a very good objective that gets highly filtered out by bad communication and bad team coordination. So it was a very much a 50-50 if you have a team that cares about the urn or not. But the power of the urn was always there. It was always a really good economic objective on the map, value wise. The current urn is the same thing, the new urn, but instead of making players use the side lanes or use their own jungle, Valve asks us the brave question of what if the urn would deposit on the mid spot. So if anyone here played old Deadlock in 2024 up until 2025's map rework, early March I think, or medium March, you will remember that there was a middle spot in the area of the urn that you could deposit it. Now, I kind of forgot how they did it. I genuinely don't really remember. I think they actually removed urn carrying in the middle in 2024, like late 2024, like November, December I think? No, November, October. So that was a thing that existed, and people didn't really like it. Like I remember there was a point where it was only in the middle, and that was very early pre-NDA release, and then they tried it again at October. They did different rule set. You still had to carry it from the side lane to the mid lane, and people didn't really like it. But I thought it had potential because even then, people would again kind of completely ignore the urn. And it kind of developed into, again, the current highly comeback mechanic that people don't really take or do. Okay, and okay, that's enough for the old urn. Okay, now let's look at the new urn and what it does. The new urn, I like that you have to make first and foremost that. I really like that. It's not an instant drop off anymore, which for me is a plus because I didn't like dunking it. I'm not gonna say it felt weird, but it felt like it was missing something, and I think right now. And what I've noticed is that specifically on social media is that people are talking about how good urn is, but the urn has always been this good. The problem is that solo queue players did not take it. Like for them, they like just didn't exist. Like the urn is almost like maybe slightly better right now than it was prior to the patch in terms of economic objective. Okay, what else? I like that it can actually kill the person carrying the urn, so you don't get people that can grab it and just hold on to it. Yeah, and that's the new urn. That's the things I like about it. I know that you could argue that it kind of resets the map positions, because if you're not doing anything on the map, you're just absorbing waves or like fighting on the sides. An urn respawn means that everything has to essentially throw itself in a very specific part of the map. So you could argue that it kind of resets the game in that sense, that you have a big warning like go there, do that, and it's only been one day after the patch, so opinions are high, emotions are high, so I'm not really sure how to feel about it. I think it's good. There's basically a stop everything you do on the map, you need to do this objective. Now what I don't like about the new urn, okay, so the mid lane is not made to be this over centralizing, and by mid lane I mean the mid bridge. The mid bridge is way too big, way too wide, and it gets highly contested by characters with good AoE. You could argue it gets good by good CC as well, but that's kind of give or take. AoE abilities are much more problematic on this urn because Dynamo is 10 times better. Kelvin can freeze the dome the mid lane, and the countdown to the urn would still go, so you can put to the urn, Kelvin dome it, and there is no counterplay to that. Like you're just gonna get the urn. These are the most obvious ones, like class 2, which goes back to saying like the zip lines go way too close to the mid lane for it to be an objective there, and you can essentially do zipline tech, boost yourself, and completely grab the enemy team, or completely grab the team as last, or completely CC them as some characters with good AoE control abilities. So what do we have here? So we have a mid lane, again mainly the bridge, that's not made for this kind of objective. I think it's very team dependent, It's very comp dependent. It's very, it's, you could argue even that it's kind of even zipline dependent. If your character can get good advantage with the zipline mid lane, and I think besides the characters that are objectively really good at this, there's also characters like, I would argue, Paradox, Ivy. Paradox could you build, Ivy could you build, Paradox bomb build where she buys Echo Sword with durates, and there's no, it's very team based, and I don't think that feels good, and it probably should work out. My suggestion would be to make the mid bridge thinner and smaller. If you've noticed from playing mid lane, you've noticed that mid lane has the widest bridge compared to the side lanes. And another thing I would argue is that they should probably add some kind of cover on the mid lane, some kind of rooftop. They don't need to bring the museum of the old map. I think they can just make like a, I don't know how you would describe it, like just a roof. Like it could literally just be the pre-rework, not pre-rework, the day one reworked map where the mid lane had a big arc and there was like something like a rooftop, and they already fixed that with giving the rooftop, the arc, a bigger arc so last can't get on top of it. So yeah, that's my suggestion. I think that they should make it an arc. They should give it a rooftop, a cover of sort. And the next thing I think they should work on is, I'm not convinced that this is how they plan to do the earn objective, because putting it in the middle means that it's saving spots on the side lanes, and the side lanes are somewhat empty now. So maybe they are planning to do a side objectives or something, like something to do on the side lanes, and they needed somehow to move the urn in the middle so they can free up space. Because if you really think about it, urn kind of limits what you can have on the map, because it takes, first and foremost, you have to take it from the side, but you also have to carry it to the other side, because that's comeback urn. So I think that's the thing. I think we're expected a new objective, and that's the video. I would love to know what you guys think about it. I think emotions are too high right now. I'll see what